This video is going to cover Measure L, which will appear before the Oxnard voters in November 2020. It does a number of different things, such as requiring financial reporting monthly by the city, but the biggest change that it has is that it combines the treasurer and finance director roles. So what exactly do the city treasurer and the city finance director do? Well, let's look at their two roles separately. First, the city treasurer oversees the cash flow, investments, debts, bonds, and obligations of the city. By contrast, the city finance director oversees all of the financial functions such as accounting, budgets, finance management, contracts, compliance, purchasing, and financial reporting. What are the difference in qualifications between the two roles? Well, to be treasurer, one needs to be at least 18 years old, a registered and eligible voter, and an Oxnard resident. In order to be qualified to be city finance director, one needs to have at least a bachelor's degree in finance or accounting, have 8 years of experience in finance, and at least 3 to 5 years of management experience. But another important question is, what do you do if you get a really bad one of these? What if you have one that's just really poor at their job? Well, for city treasurer, because they're an elected official, they either have to resign, fail to be reelected, or be recalled. Finance director is an at-will employee. They can resign, they can be fired with or without cause at any time. So while the functions and the qualifications of these two roles vary quite differently, these two roles are actually two sides of the same financial coin for oversight of finances within the city. The thing that the voters are going to have to think about in November of this year is whether or not we would like to combine the treasurer and the finance director to be one and the same person. So what exactly does that look like? Well, obviously it's a combination of all the duties we just talked about from the two different roles. But what are the qualifications that Measure L puts on the city treasurer to oversee the $500 million operating budget of the city? Well, they have to be at least 18 years old, they have to be a registered and eligible voter, and they have to be an Oxnard resident. You may recall that those are the same qualifications that the city treasurer role already had. There's not even a requirement that they have any financial experience whatsoever. Another important consideration is some information that came from a consultant's analysis that was published earlier this year. The annual pay for the city treasurer would likely increase from $20,000 per year back to $148,000 per year, but could go as high as $336,000 per year because of the combination of that role with that of the finance director. So what does this all mean? Well, if Measure L passes, it means that the city treasurer alone, a single person, would oversee important city financial functions such as the $500 million operating budget, all of accounting, all of purchasing, the hiring and firing of all finance employees, department performance measures, and whistleblower programs. As a reminder, Measure L doesn't change the requirements to run to be city treasurer. The person still needs to be at least 18 years old, a registered eligible voter, and a resident of the city of Oxnard to do all that stuff we talked about to oversee a $500 million budget. No other cities in California have only the elected treasurer, one single person, overseeing all financial aspects of their city. And remember, an elected treasurer, if they are bad at their job or incompetent or for whatever reason, they cannot be fired. They can only be recalled at a cost to the taxpayers, or the next election, we have to try to not re-elect them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope we were able to get some information to help you on this really important election year. If you enjoyed this content, I hope you'll consider liking and sharing this video, subscribing to my channels or to my social media accounts @_GTPro.